Hello, everyone. I was tasked with KIPP schools. Um, KIPP Houston is a network of charter schools located in Houston, Texas. They're taxpayer funded and open to all students. They operate independently of traditional school curriculums, and they go by a set of principles known as the five pillars. These five pillars are described as high expectations, choice and commitment, more time, power to lead, and a focus on results. Uh, the Knowledge is Power program, which KIPP stands for, was founded in 1994 by Michael Feinberg and David Levin. Uh, this was in response after teaching in underperforming schools to control disruptive behavior. You know, they adopted techniques to make lessons entertaining, like singing, chanting, constant body movements. They also came up with token systems where students could earn, fake money to when they made achievements and their efforts, good efforts in class. They also came up with, a field trip at the end of the year for perfect attendance. So all these efforts, led to a 90% success rate of students passing the state's math and reading exams, and this was following a year which only half passed. So KIPP's mission is to serve students in high minority, low income communities. They face obstacles by way of how public monies are being dispersed between schools. They also face the issue of recruitment, development, and retraining of the educators. Their key stakeholders here include the parents, teachers, administrators, community members, and business people. They also receive support from philanthropic and collaborative partners. So the general issue here, I thought, was it pertains to KIPP's sustainability. How are they going to innovate to replicate this success going forward? So one major problem the organization faced was how it would continue to be funded strategically. Public schools primarily receive 90% of from local and state sources, while the other 10% is being federally funded. So in this case, the way money was being dispersed impacted KIPP schools because they received no funds from INS. Now, INS is interest in sinking, and this is money from local property tax revenues, which is used to actually support the public school system. Now, KIPP was not entitled to these funds, which means they received no state funding for their facilities. So, and as a result, also they received about $966 less per student than what Houston public schools kids were getting. So one solution, for the deficit came through fundraising and philanthropy. Those efforts contributed over $40 million to KIPP Houston, and these funds were transferred by the board of directors to independent nonprofits. They specialize in helping charter schools secure financing. So, in addition to this, KIPP also, they were facing the issue of hiring, keeping teachers because of the salary and workload. Now, teachers had to, commit to a 10-hour workday, but they also were being tasked with coming up with their own curriculums and lessons plans. So, this in return led to a 65-hour work week. So, a lot of that was on the weekends and in the evening. Of course, it was unpaid, so it was real turn off to the teachers. It led to burnout, and of course, it jumped the teacher retention rate. So, caused a 72% retention rate, which was 6% below charter schools nationally. So, what they did was one solution to this issue was they had on their Pathways of Leadership program. They came up with a fellowship called the Miles Fellowship, which was a 2-year path to becoming a school founder. So this motivated teachers to, want to stay with the company because of the leadership potential and the advancement. And new initiatives, they also explored social media campaigns, billboards on Houston's busiest freeways, and $1,000 referral bonuses for successful recruitments. Just pulling some numbers here on KIPP. Currently, they're approaching 3 decades of their existence. Their recent numbers nationwide are 155,000 students, 345 schools, and more than 50 communities. And they're projected to have about 80,000 alumni by 2025. Now they receive funding from local sources now, and state and federal. So, to support those cost of operations. And since 2020, 78% of their teachers have returned, along with 90% of the school's leaders. So their success and sustainability, I thought, were a direct result of these fundraising, collaboration, philanthropy, and collaborative partners. And they continue to make contributions to impact the network while raising private funds to strengthen the impact of the program. So you got organizations like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Doris and Donald Fisher Fund, and now you got the U.S. Department of Education getting in on it. And they altogether, it's been over about $60 million donated to KIPP, so they're doing well, and I see this, being sustainable going forward. So in the beginning, they struggled to find a way of financing, but the best solutions, proved to be forming those partnerships and those fundraising efforts. Philanthropy in itself, it improves the well-being of humankind. It promotes social justice. And in this case, it really benefited KIPP schools because it created that value for the organization. It also created a positive image for KIPP schools. The kids from those environments, it just created more of a positive public image and work environment as well. And all those things in turn, they drive economic growth. And whenever you have a positive, network like that, it builds a better future for the younger generation as well. So this actually increases, the intangibility of the business. So, those intangible assets with KIPP would probably be like their leadership, core values, organizational culture, and all these things create a strong, sustainable business model. So this actually, I thought was a strong source of competitive advantage for KIPP Houston. It's nationwide now. I mean, they have KIPP Georgia, KIPP Michigan. Like there's KIPP schools everywhere now. This not only creates customer value but stakeholder value as well. So thanks you guys, and y'all have a good week.